Well, so far it has been an historical presidential race. And as you're waking up this morning, CBS News projecting former President Trump will take the White House. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joe Ellison.
And I'm Tiffany Lee. Now, we will get to your forecast in just a bit. But first, here's a map that America has been watching for hours as votes from key battleground states have been coming in. Let's take a look at those.
Yeah, as we know, now there are 538 votes in the Electoral College. You're seeing that map here. And it takes 270, a majority, to take the presidency. Now, when Wisconsin's vote came in this morning, it was just after 4:30 a.m. That's when CBS News called the presidency for former President Trump.
Yeah, the decision came down to a handful of battleground states where voters have been closely divided. And Joe, watching this throughout the night, I think it kind of took a turn that people weren't expecting when he started getting those battleground states early on. And I think that's when people really started looking at this, expecting it to be closer than it was there when it came to the battlegrounds.
Yeah, I think so. And there for a while overnight, I mean, it was pretty close. It did sort of stay neck and neck. It really has just been within the last few hours that this sort of took a turn, and we added more of those votes to former President Trump. Now, among some of those states, it might surprise you, Pennsylvania, they have the most electoral votes at stake, which 19, right? And then followed by North Carolina and Georgia, another one coming in with 16 each.
Yeah, and those battleground states, Michigan has 15, Arizona 11, Wisconsin 10, and then Nevada has 6. Now, some of these battleground states are still too close to call at this hour, so we will have the latest throughout the morning as they continue to count those. But now here's Jared Hill in Washington, D.C. with an election wrap.
Former President Trump yesterday, well, I guess really early this morning, as he was making an acceptance speech before that projection that he has won the presidential race here, seemed as though he was in awe as he was speaking to reporters. Take a look.
I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States of America.
Early this morning, the Trump-Vance campaign claimed victory ahead of CBS News projection that former President Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
This was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond.
Speaking to supporters in West Palm Beach, Florida, he promised unity.
It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we're going to try. At
Vice President Kamala Harris's alma mater, Howard University, supporters grew less enthusiastic. The crowd later dispersed after a top campaign official told them Harris would wait to address supporters and the nation later today.
We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted.
According to CBS News exit polls, the state of democracy was the biggest issue for Harris voters. But for Trump supporters, it was the economy.
The Democratic ticket all the way for human rights.
While he was the president, everything was nice and smooth, and I still had money left in my pocket.
A vast majority of voters nationwide described the economy as bad after heading into the voting booth yesterday. Well, former President Trump will have a new Republican Senate as he comes into office, again, with this latest projection. That's going to be crucial here after we saw seats flip in Ohio as well as West Virginia for everything from confirming cabinet positions to judges on the federal level and potentially even at some point a Supreme Court justice. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much for that. Now, again, former President Trump, CBS projecting him the winner of the this presidential election. But we're taking a look at how Arkansas and Oklahoma voted. The state of Arkansas went to former President Trump, giving him all the state's electoral votes.
And it was the same story in Oklahoma. The state went to the former president. It's the third straight election that both Oklahoma and Arkansas's electoral votes have gone to Donald Trump.